Here are my top 5 ESL reported speech games and activities. So what is reported speech? It's when you tell someone what another person said. So for example, maybe I would tell my sister, oh, mom said that you should do the dishes, something like that. So my mom didn't directly tell my sister, she told me to tell my sister. Or maybe if you're like overhearing some gossip or something and then you talk about it to another friend, oh, guess what? I heard Jen say that Bob and Carrie are getting divorced, something like that. So that's another example of reported speech. So here are some games and activities that you can use with your students. So the first one is ball toss. So write a bunch of questions on the ball. So for example, what's your favorite food? How many brothers and sisters do you have, etc. And then you can toss the ball to the first student. And then whatever I usually use the left thumb, lands on, that's the question. So they could ask a question to another student. So they could say, what's your favorite food? And then that other student says, my favorite food is pizza. And then they could toss the ball to another student, and that person has to use reported speech. Bob said that his favorite food is pizza, something like that. All right, the next one is that sentence correct? So the grammar of reported speech can be a little bit tricky because you have to change sometimes the pronouns, you have to change kind of the verb tenses and that kind of thing. So it can be a little bit confusing. So I would write down some sentences using reported speech. Some of them are correct, some of them are incorrect. I put students into pairs and they have to decide if the sentence is correct, they just leave it. If it's incorrect, they have to make the required changes in order to make it correct. The third one is a simple kind of interview introduction activity. So I put students into pairs and then I give them about 2 minutes and then 2 minutes to interview their partner to some basic questions like where did you grow up, what's your favorite food, what are your hobbies, etc. And then if you have a very small class, that person can introduce their partner using reported speech to the class. Or if you have a big class, I put students maybe into groups of 4 or 6 and they can do the same thing. So I'd interview my partner, say Bob over here, and Bob told me he likes pizza and his hobby is playing sports. So I'd introduce him to the class. This is Bob. He told me that he likes pizza and he said that he loves playing soccer, something like that. The fourth activity is to play a little bingo game, Find Someone Who. So you can either make up a bingo grid with just things like find someone who has a sister, has a brother, likes pizza, loves sports, loves watching hockey on TV, something like that. Students have to, or else students can fill in the squares with things that they are interested in, what they think other people in the class might answer yes to. And then they can circulate around the class talking to other people. And once they find someone that fits that criteria, so like loves pizza, they can write the name in the square and then it's done. And then when when that activity is over, I elicit some answers from the students. So I say, tell me one thing that you learned. And then someone could use reported speech to say something. For example, Cindy told me that she has one sister, something like that. All right, the final activity for reported speech is Dictogloss. So this is a listening activity for higher level students. So you can write up a little dialogue or a paragraph, something like that, and then put students into pairs. And of course, the dialogue or the paragraph should have examples of reported speech. Put students into pairs and they can have a pen and paper. Then read it out at a faster than normal pace for that level of students. Students will take notes, whatever they can catch from it, and then they can compare with their partner and they try to recreate what they heard. And then you can read it out one more time, again, quite quickly, and they can compare with their partner again. And hopefully at this point, they'll kind of be able to recreate almost the gist of what you said. And then finally, they can compare their version with the original version. And then I will often use this as kind of a nice lead-in into the rest of my lesson on reported speech. So if you like these ideas about teaching reported speech to ESL students, please be sure to check out my book, 129 ESL Activities for Teens. I'll put the link right up there, and please hit like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time.